Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you have friends or family members come over and maybe they look at your pantry and see that you have a pretty good amount of food in there, do they call you a hoarder? Do they call you a hoarder because you've been buying a little extra every time that you go shopping just to make sure that in case hard times come or something happens in the supply chain or that the supermarkets just don't have it? Do they call you a hoarder for having a little bit of extra? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what. This is but one example. I'm sure that if I did a little research and wanted to spend more time on the internet today than what I want to, that I could find several examples of companies that are hoarding. Now, I've covered coffee before because the price of coffee we predicted earlier this year was going to go up, because Brazil had a cold snap that killed a lot of its crop. And they came up about 1 million bags short. That was just Brazil. But I read earlier that the coffee industry as a whole has come up about 3 million bags of coffee short this year because of the problems that they've been having with weather thus far. So this company here, Caribou Coffee, they're hoarding coffee beans. Why are they doing this, ladies and gentlemen? I can't really call it hoarding because they're purchasing it from the free market and storing it away in their warehouse because they see what is coming. And my point is this: for those people that call you a hoarder because you buy a little extra every time you go shopping, ask yourself if they pay your bills. If they don't pay your bills, then you should care not what they say about what you have. Because in my opinion, and I'm sure in the opinion of many others, even those that don't say it, like governments, federal and state and local at the county level governments, they put away stuff for a rainy day. And I would say that the government itself is the biggest hoarder that there is when it comes to consumption of things that they don't need right there and then. You see, when the just-in-time supply system was developed, governments never play with that rule. Governments never play with the just-in-time supply system. They always order in bulk of everything, of more than what they need, more of what they know that they're going to need. One of the reasons is because they know how much waste there is within government. But the other reason is because they rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Now, I cannot confirm this, but I did hear someone say that the reason that Oxen Farms is shutting down for 90 days is because they are supplying the government during that time. Now, if any of you have any information on that, that's concrete information, please email it to me. I would love to see it. But ladies and gentlemen, don't let anyone call you a hoarder because everyone is doing it. Remember last year I reported that the state of Washington, that they were hoarding foods for their food banks because they knew they were going to need it, at a time when we were having real shortages in the supermarkets. They were contributing to those shortages by hoarding that food because they knew they were going to need it. Well, is what they were doing right? In their eyes, it was. So why is it wrong for you to have a couple of extra months worth of food? I would say at a minimum have an extra year's worth of food in your pantry to make sure that you can feed your family during hard times. U.S. restaurant chain Caribou Coffee Company is panic hoarding coffee beans as a global supply deficit grips the world and fuels inflation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I honestly don't think they're hoarding it. I think they're stocking up because they see what's coming. All right, because everyone else in the market is able to get these coffee beans at whatever price they're charging. If this company right here is deciding to buy more than what they need right now because they see that need in the future and the availability of coffee beans in the future being less than what it is today, I don't consider that hoarding. They say here, we continue to increase safety stock on key items. CEO John Butcher told Bloomberg. Besides coffee beans, he said, the company is loading up on cups, lids, packaging, chocolate, and anything that comes to mind as supply chains remain snarled. So the question is this: if companies are doing this, and maybe for some reason you just happen to come across this video and you're new to the AP community, first of all, welcome and thank you for clicking on the video and staying at least till this part of the video. The question is this: if companies are doing it, ladies and gentlemen, if states are doing it, ladies and gentlemen, if the federal government is doing it, ladies and gentlemen, then why aren't you? Why aren't you stocking up? Butcher says, my gut tells me to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Good advice. I personally don't see any reason to believe that supply chain disruptions are going to go away anytime soon. And he goes on to say that hopefully things will improve by the end of 2022. That is a full year away. In my opinion, things are not going to get better by the end of 2022. We may have a little period of respite when all of those container ships finally get unloaded off of the West, the East Coast, and the Gulf. We'll have a little bit of respite where there's going to be more things on the shelves than what we need. And there's going to actually be a little bit of disinflation going on. However, ladies and gentlemen, ask yourself something. All of the things that are in those container ships right now, what kind of a condition are they going to be in by the time they get to the shelves? I forgot where I heard this, but I heard it on a video. It wasn't on an article. I heard someone say that a friend of theirs has a shoe store. And I think this was in LA. They have a shoe store where they sell shoes, right? Al Bundy shoes. And that by the time that they got their shoes delivered to them, that they were all moldy because they've been sitting out in those containers for so long. So again, I believe that we're going to have a little bit of a respite period where things will be coming on the shelves because those ships have to be unloaded. Ladies and gentlemen, take that time to stock up. There may even be a period of disinflation where prices come down a little bit because they want to get rid of that stuff because it's been sitting out there for so long. Take that time to stock up. I always say have a little bit of dry powder on the side. Have a little bit of extra cash on the side that you're going to save for those good deals that you can find whenever you can find them. He continues to say that everybody is in the same boat. They're hopeful that things will improve by the end of 2022. But for now, we have to prepare as though things will not improve. And he goes on to say, I'll finish it off with this. Arabica coffee prices have soared to fresh decades highs this week as news of the global supply deficit paints a grim outlook for 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, all they had to do was subscribe to the Alaska Prepper channel about 6 months ago when we were talking about how coffee prices were going to hit, high levels in price because there was going to be less availability. I mean, we were talking about this 6 months ago. But now they're paying the price for it because they're paying a lot more than what they were normally paying. If you take a look down here, they're paying about more than twice as much as what they were paying before. Here just a few months back. What does that mean for us coffee lovers, ladies and gentlemen? It means that coffee is going to continue to go up in price, ladies and gentlemen. It will. That means that I have to put in another order for Nutrient Survival Coffee. If you haven't tried Nutrient Survival Coffee, give it a try. It is outstanding. I mean, it really is. And it's got all the nutrients that you need on a daily basis. Anyways, that was my plug for Nutrient Survival. We believe that a deficit of about 4 million bags. Other analysts see it as high as 7 million bags. So I was wrong. It's 4 to 7 million bag deficit. Incredible. If Caribou is panic buying coffee beans, imagine what Starbucks and other large chains have been doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a death by 1,000 cuts. And it is going to continue to happen. So take that fiat that you have. I'm not a financial advisor. Take that extra fiat currency that you have and turn it into something real. Because it is only losing value day by day by day. I hate having extra cash. I keep a little bit because it's a good idea to have an emergency fund that is liquid that you can get to right away. At home or wherever you decide to store it, or in the bank and in the bank as well. Having said that, have a great Friday. Hope to see you all tomorrow, Saturday, at Frontier Preppers site. I'm going to go over there and have a little cafecito and participate in their live stream tomorrow at 9 a.m. Alaska time, which comes out to be 1 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having our regular live stream on Sunday at 12 noon Alaska time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Have a great rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.
Survival isn't just survival food. It's special ops grade. Built to the nutritional standards of the U.S. Special Ops and packed with 40 essential nutrients. Formulated to sustain energy, sharpen focus, and keep you and your family thriving during any emergency. Real food, real ingredients. Oh, and a 25-year shelf life. Our meals will kick your taste buds in the mouth and have them coming back for dessert. Yeah, we've got that too. So whether you're digging in or bugging out, you don't just survive an emergency situation, you thrive in it. Nutrient Survival. Feed your freedom.